Hi there, Facebook. It's Jessica Lemmon. Thank you for joining my author page. I'm so sorry to wiggle you around a little bit. I have my laptop balanced on something a little bit higher so that we can do an unboxing. So today I received this box in the mail, and I thought it would be fun to find out what Harlequin sent me. So we're going to be doing an unboxing of books. I'm pretty sure I know what's in here, and if what I want to see is in here, we are going to do an excerpt from the book that you haven't heard. You know what? Whatever's in here, I'll read an excerpt unless it's one of the foreign books, in which case I probably won't be able to read it. But let's go ahead and do the unboxing, and then well, actually, first, let me just thank you all for helping me have a great release month. Back in July, my book One Night White Lies came out, and it was really received very well, and I just want to thank you all for reading that. Okay, let's go ahead and get to opening this pretty box. All right, here we go. It's always exciting, by the way, to receive books as an author. Every time that a box comes, I eagerly watch outside the window. Oh, it is what I thought it was going to be. I watch outside the window for UPS to arrive and open just for this. This is the very best part, and I couldn't bear to do it without you. Look at that. This is hot off the presses, baby. Christmas Seduction. How gorgeous is that? Christmas Seduction is my October release from Harlequin, obviously, Harlequin Desire. It's actually a book 4 in the Bachelor Pact. So yeah, all of this delicious, look at this entire box is full of them. How amazing is that? All right, so let me close this up here. My plan when I started shooting this live was to move you guys there, after I had the box open, because that was a little bit better height. Okay, so like I said, Christmas Seduction is book 4 in the Bachelor Pact, and as much as I'd love to tell you guys it's a standalone, and it is, I will say it's a standalone. I'm about to eat my own words. I also want to let you know that it is closely connected with the one that came out in July. So One Night White Lies and this guy right here have a deep connection that is revealed in the last half of One Night White Lies. I'm trying not to spoil it for those of you who haven't read it. So I do recommend reading both. But if you picked this up, all the backstory would be delicately laid out for you guys. Oh, it's so pretty, so pretty. Let me give you a little close up here. I just love his face. I love her face. Oh my goodness. And look at that beautiful Christmas tree. Is it too early to talk about Christmas? I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk to you about a little giveaway I have hidden under here, and then I'm going to do question and answers, and I'm going to greet you guys at the end. So please keep commenting, ask your questions, and I'll scroll back and try to get all of you. Okay, so I'm just going to start at chapter 1 and read a little bit for you guys because it's just too exciting not to. Oh, you know what? This is going to have so many spoilers. Maybe I shouldn't read from chapter 1. Should I? Do you guys want spoilers or not? I feel like we should just go for it. So this is your official spoiler alert. If you haven't read One Night White Lies, this is going to be packed with spoilers, okay? All right, here we go. Chapter 1. Outside the Brass Pony, a 5-star restaurant where he'd nursed more than one whiskey at the bar, Tate Duncan stood beneath the canopy and watched the rain come down in sheets. He'd picked a hell of a night for a walk. But that's the way the streets here were designed in Sprite Wellness Community, with plenty of sidewalks and paths cutting through the woods, making a walk more convenient than a winding car ride to your destination. This was a wellness community, after all. Tate and a dedicated team of contractors had developed the health and wellness community 5 years ago. Its location? Sprite Island, an enviable utopia 30 minutes by ferry from Seattle, Washington, and Tate's 25th birthday gift from his adoptive parents. The island had been and remained a nature preserve and was the perfect spot to build a sustainable, peaceful, modern neighborhood that would attract curious city dwellers. He'd imagined into existence the luxury wellness enclave, which had become a refuge of sorts for those who desired a strong sense of community and wanted to be surrounded by lush greenery rather than concrete. As a result, Sprite Wellness Community teamed with residents who glowed with wealth and stank of wellness. There was a big demand to live small, and even though it wasn't all that small, SWC had that feel about it. Umbrella Mr. Duncan, the manager of the Brass Pony, Jared Tomlin, leaned out the door and offered a black umbrella by its U-shaped handle. His smile faded as much as it had earlier when he'd attempted to make small talk and learned that Mr. Duncan was not in the mood for small talk tonight. There had been a time, and it wasn't that long ago, that Tate would have turned, given Jared a smile, and accepted the offer, saying, "Thank you, I'll bring it back tomorrow." Now he gave the manager a withering glare and stalked off into the abysmal weather. A 20-minute jaunt, soggy, chilling, and wet, was a good metaphor for the downward spiral his life had taken recently. Everything in Tate's world had been on an upward track, steady and stable until. He popped his collar and tucked his hands into the pockets of his leather jacket. Chin down, eyes on the gathering puddles under his feet, he began to walk. Surrounding neighborhoods were marked by a variety of shops, markets with fresh produce and organic goods, restaurants like the Pony with reputations that drew diners from the coast, plus plenty of service-based businesses like salons, art stores, and yoga studios. With its high-end wellness fare, SWC was part luxury living, part hippie commune, but to Tate, it was simply home. A rare flash of headlights caught his attention, and he lifted his head. Summer's Market stood on the opposite side of the street, the wooden shelves and brightly colored stacks of produce visible from the windows. The safety lights spotlighted wheels of cheese and boxed crackers arranged near the selection of wine. It was hard to believe he'd once had nothing better to do than pop into Summers for a wine tasting and cheese pairing and have a chat with his neighbors. Back when I knew who I was. Tate had never thought of identity as a wily thing, but lately his own had been wriggling, slippery in his grip. He'd known once, with certainty, who he was. The son of William and Marion Duncan from California. Life, apparently, had other plans for him. Plans that had sent him careening, grappling to understand how he'd become the son of William and Marion Singleton. Right around the same time, the woman who was supposed to marry him had walked away. "I can't do this, Tate," Claire had told him, her delicate features screwed into an expression of regret. Then she'd given back the engagement ring. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, he'd become a ripe bastard. The rhythm of his breath paced in time along with his steps. Rainwater beat drum-like on his head and soaked into his Italian leather shoes. On his side of the street, he came upon a building that held an array of businesses, including an acupuncture office, a family doctor, and a yoga studio. The yoga studio was the only one lit inside by a pair of pink-hued salt lamps glowing warmly on top of a desk. He peered through the window, wishing he'd have accepted the damn umbrella, wishing he could absorb the warmth emitting from the place. It was orderly, homely, and with its scarred wooden floors, the stacks of cubbies for storing shoes and cell phones during class. He'd been inside once before to greet the new owner who'd leased the space. Yoga by Hayden was run by Hayden Green, a new resident who'd been in SWC a little over a year now. He saw her around town sometimes. She was the equivalent of looking at the sun, bright, glowing, joyful. She had a skip in her step and a smile on her face most days. He wondered if yoga was her secret to being happy, or if maybe he should try it, make that his new therapy. God knew he wasn't heading back to Dr. Schroeder anytime soon. The first world problems he used to bring his therapist were laughable considering the actual drama surrounding him now. He could imagine that conversation, his doctor's eyebrows climbing her forehead into her coiffed dark hair. Yeah, so I found out I was kidnapped when I was 3, adopted out for a large sum of money, and my real parents live in London. No, my adoptive parents didn't know I was kidnapped. Yes, London. Oh, and I have a brother. We're twins. Eerie, that's what this was, like a scary story told round a campfire. There was a large chunk of him that wanted to believe it was false, that the repressed memory of big hands cuffing him under the arms and dragging him away from his and his twin brother's birthday party had been a nightmare he could awaken from, that George and Jane Singleton were no more related to him than the Queen of England. Though he was from the UK, so God help him, he could be related to the Queen of England. So there it is. There is, oh, that was probably half. Yeah, that was probably right around half of chapter 1 of The Christmas Seduction. I have to go drink coffee, sorry. The book comes out in October. And if you're just tuning in, it's a book 4, very tightly connected to book 3. But I think you really could read it as a standalone because I made sure to catch you up on what you had missed before if you did, because we never want to leave somebody in a lurch, right, if they didn't get there. So thank you for listening to the excerpt. And now we're going to get to our giveaway. And then I'm going to see if I have any questions and answers and greet you guys at the end. Okay, so the giveaway is super special because this book came out yesterday. How cool is that? Brand spanking new. And actually in this very room, Jules Bennett was staying. So hi, Jules. I haven't changed the bed yet if you want to come right back. As some of you may or may not know, Jules and I are really good friends, and we are actually excited to collaborate on some Harlequin Desires that are coming out sometime in 2021. We don't have a lot of details for you yet, but as the months come upon us, we will release more and more. So this is her current release, Montana Seduction, and look at this scruffy, delicious beard. Do you love that? Love that. This guy's a bad boy, right? You know how I love my bad boys. So Jules's Montana Seduction came out yesterday, so you can buy it right now wherever Harlequin books are sold, or you can win it from me. And the only thing you have to do to win it from me is, let's see, since we're talking about Christmas seduction, why don't you tell me your favorite thing to do during the holidays? If you don't celebrate Christmas, you can tell me your favorite thing to do during what holiday you do celebrate in the winter. But what is your favorite thing to do during Christmas? And I will send you a copy of Montana Seduction. How does that sound? Okay. So comment below. I'm going to go through and say hi and see if there's any questions. But for the rest of you, I just want to make sure that you kind of knew. Holly. Hi, Holly. Hi, Wendy. Hi, is it Erica? Wendy says that's going to be a must read. We'll take it. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Nicole. She doesn't want me to stop reading. I know. I could just stand here and read the whole book. It would be great, wouldn't it? Nicole says, I read and loved Montana Seduction, which is Jules's book that I'm doing a giveaway for. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of tempted to just like keep it. Maybe I'll like tenderly read it before I send it out to the winner. So go ahead and drop me a comment below your favorite thing to do Christmas. I don't see any questions from you guys, so I'm gonna let you go, and we'll repost this so that you can, if you're watching the repost, if you weren't here live, that's totally fine. Drop your questions, drop your comments, drop your favorite thing to do at Christmas, and I'll check back in with you guys soon. So have a fantastic day, you guys. Bye-bye.